There goes the recording. Alright. Minesweeper. New color scheme. I think it's like minty. Kinda like mint chocolate or whatever. But let's go, I guess. The timer is on. Alright, rules. Triplet means no mines may form a row of 3. May form 3 in a row. Orthogonally or diagonally? Sure. And multiple means that mines in shaded cells count as 2 mines. So let's begin with this 3 maybe? No, I don't see what we can do about it, but this 5 we can probably do something about it. Right? Because a 5 is an odd number, so in multiple it's always going to need a 1. And then it's also going to need 2 of these, right? Yes, it needs one cell. It needs 1 1 and 2 2s. Yes. And so this does it act a bit like a 4? Actually, I'm not sure because yeah, I think it does act a bit like a 4 actually. It's just a very special 4. There are a few ways to make 5 work, but the let's think about the 5. If this were a mine, then because we need another 2, it's gonna be here or here, right? Yeah. Although that's not entirely. Yeah. I don't think this can be a mine. How do I say this? If this were a mine, then this can't be a mine because of the 3. Then this 5 can only have 2 mines here and here, which fails, so that can't be a mine. Cool. 7. The 3. Yeah, okay, we know there must be 1 mine here, right? Because of the 7. If these were all mines, then it won't have 6, so one of these has to be a mine. It could also be both mines, honestly. And then a third mine here. Or it can be this and one of these. But okay. I mean, okay, in this case, quite obviously this can't be a mine. So your 7 can really only be completed like that. And in the other case where, you know, this was the configuration, then your 7 requires mines in all 4 of these cells. So I'm pretty sure in all cases these 3 are always mines. Yeah. Yes. Anything else I can see? Not entirely sure, but open this 5 maybe. We know one of these are mines, right? If this were a mine, then we know this can't be a mine. Is it ever possible for this to be a mine? If it were, then this can't be a mine. This 5 means this has to be a mine, this is not, and therefore this is a mine. In fact, we already know that from this. Which then implies this can't be a mine, but this looks fine though. I think this is fine. Yeah. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. It might be this 4, but I don't think the 4 is important just yet. It's probably this 5, the 3, and the 7 somehow. Because the 7 has 5 so far, and therefore it needs 2 more here. Right? If this were a mine, then this isn't. And I guess you can put that down as one option. But then the other option would be, if this wasn't a mine, then these two are mines, definitely, to fill up the 7. And because of this can't be a mine. So this is never a mine. I misclicked. What I meant to say was that this is not a mine. And this must always be a mine then for the 5 to work. This 4 maybe now? Because we know one of these are mines to fill up the 5. Does that say anything? Yes, if this were a mine, then this can't be a mine by triplet. But if this were a mine, then the 4 is complete, so this can't be a mine either. Anything else? I know one of these are mines, right? And that combined with this set of 2 mines over here gives us the fact that this cannot be a mine. Okay, the 5 actually can be completed. No? Oh, it sees 3. I'm sorry, my math is not mathing right now. There you go. This can't be a mine. The 5 needs a 2, so this can't be a mine. There you go. And then because of this, one of these are mines. Complete the 5. This 4 needs 2 more. Okay. Anything can help here? Not sure exactly. I mean, the 4 does need another... The 4 needs another 1 and another 2, right? It can't be this 4 being mines, because then that breaks this 3 in a row. So it must be it must be one more 1 and one more 2 as well, I'm pretty sure. Like that. One more? One more. Yeah, sure, why not? Is it this? I don't think this can be a mine. If it were, then because of the 4, this can't be a mine, and then for the 7 to work, this must be a mine, which breaks 3 in a row. Sure, okay. Very sus, but sure. The 6 does need to see 1 more of these, and only 1 more, meaning it needs to see, what, a 4? Yeah, it needs to see a 4, right? It needs to see 2 2s and 1 1. One more 1. And then the 2 2s can't be here, implying that this must be a mine? Yeah, okay. Also does imply that there must be 1 mine here exactly and 1 mine here. Yeah, okay. I don't remember if like there are any tricks in triplet that I'm not thinking about. But I don't know. Also, there's 1 mine here. Actually, this 4... The 4 is sees 3, so this can't be a mine. Oh, means this must be and this must be. Wow, this 4 is now complete then. The 5 sees 4 already, so must have only 1 more. The 2 sees 1, so it needs another 1 more. And the 7. Okay, we can mark this as a non-mine. This 7 sees 3, so it needs to see 4. I mean, there are a few ways it could work. Right, the first way is if it sees a 2 and a 2. The other way is if it sees 2 1s and another 2. But if that happens, this can't be a mine, so the other 2 has to go here. In which case, this is always a mine, I'm pretty sure. I misclicked, it was always a mine. Oh. Okay, I don't remember how this goes. This is not a mine. And then this is a mine, so this happens. Yes, there we go. Okay, we're back. I was saying that this is always a mine, and I keep misclicking because I keep confusing which button is to open a mine, which is not. By the way, this is not a mine, and 6 sees 2 so far. Needs to see 2 more, and then is this a 4? Yes, because this is basically a 4 in triplet on the side. The 6, right, can see 6 in 2 ways. The first way is if 3 2s, right? Because of triplet, these are both non-mines. But the other way is if it were like this, and then one of these were not, and then one of these were mines. But I mean, obviously, because of this, these 2 mines here, this can't be a mine, so this is a mine, implying that again by triplet, these are both non-mines as well. So I'm pretty sure these are both non-mines. Yeah, okay. This 7 sees 5 so far, so I need to see 2 more. So by triplet, this is not a mine, then that is. The 4 can now see 3, so you can't see any 2s. This 5 is complete, so this 3 is complete. This 5 needs to see 2 more. But because of these 2, we can mark this as non-mine, so this 5 does see both of these. This 2 means this is not a mine, that's a 4. This 4 actually sees 4, so it's done. This 2 makes this non-mine. This 4 sees 1, so it needs to see 3 more, and therefore this always has to be a mine. Yeah. Alright. Well, this 6 sees a 1 here already, so it must see another 1 to make it even. And now this can't be a mine, so that is a mine. The 4 sees 1 more here. 7 remaining. Oh no, is this some minimum nonsense? Like how many we can fit? Might have to go into some of that. Because you know one of these are mines, right? No, because one of these are mines. Whichever they are, they both risk a 3 in a row here and here, so this is not a mine. There you go, a 6, okay. A 6 sees 2, so you see 4 more. Wow, math. Okay, let's think about that for a bit. 7 mines remaining, wow. Okay, so what is the maximum number of cells you can put in a 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, if you made all 4 of these mines, then you can put 4 more cells around the 6, right? But that doesn't work here, so you can't do that. Which means that I think the minimum here you have to do is 2 2s and 2 1s, like that, I think, somewhat. Which is 3 mines here. We know here can only have 2 mines maximum. And same here, this can only have 2 mines maximum. Oh, that's already 5. Oh, that's already 7. Yeah, so if we look at the maximum here, it doesn't work because 7 cells remaining can be fit very easily into here without much trouble at all. What does that mean then? Okay, well, let's assume this was a mine first. In this case, then this is not a mine. But this 6 does need to see another 2 to... needs to see another 1, right? Yes, and then because it can only see one other 1, it must also see another 2, I think. Well, I don't know how that will work out. Okay, what about if there were a mine here and no mine here? Then, because the 6, again... I don't know. Oh my god, I'm being stupid. These 2 mines mean this is not a mine. So that is. Bro, and then the 5 is done. The 6 is, oh, okay, that's done then. Then this 6 sees what, 5 already, so this must be a mine, this isn't. Oh, Christ. These 2 mean this can't be a mine. 3 is complete. And then... Well, 3 mines remaining is interesting because... Well, I can always say that there's a maximum of 1 here, right? Because if there were 2, then this is definitely broken. And so by 3, these must both be mines. This is thus not a mine, so that's a mine. Wow. Wow. What was my... Oh my goodness. 14 minutes. That was crazy. I think I'm getting rusty. I haven't played this in super long. That's okay though. Let's keep going. Okay, what is this? Timer's on. Liar and outside. So liar says that every clue is lying and is either 1 more or 1 less than its actual value. Outside means that all mines must connect to the edge of the grid and all non-mines must connect to each other. I like that. Reference material. Okay, so This 7 immediately catches my attention. The zeros also, but we know the zeros are always 1. They can't be a -1, so they're always 1. The 7 immediately catches my eye because it clearly can't be an 8. There are not enough cells around it, so it's a 6, right? And in fact, in outside, there's a very special pattern in which something like this does not work. It doesn't matter what the numbers are, but this doesn't work. And like the main rationale for it is that one of these always connects to the outside. This also connects to the outside. And so you kind of block these two from each other. You see there's a blockage here and a blockage here, which are from mines. So that pattern can't happen. And we know the 7 is a 6. There are 7 cells around this, right? But we know that since both of these can't be mines, at least one of them has to be empty. And because of that, the rest of them must be mines. Yeah. Okay, so we know one of these are mines. This 0 we also know there's one here, making this 5 a 4 right now. It could be a 6, but the reason why it can't was that for it to be a 6, you have to have a mine here and a mine here. But then that isolates these cells, which means that it can't be a 6 and must therefore be a 4, so none of these are mines. This 2 would be a 3, because it can't be a 1, it already has 2 mines around it. And that's cool because a mine here would put a non-mine here, and therefore break because there's a pattern. So this is not a mine. A 0 is a 1, which it already sees. That's a lot of stuff. This 1 can't be a 2 because if it were a 2, this 0 would see 2, which doesn't work. Liar is only 1 more or 1 less, so this 1 must be a 0, meaning this 0 here must have its mine here. 2 again must be a 3, putting 1 mine here. This 3 would therefore see 2 out of these 3 cells. It can't see a third one here because then we have 3 mines, which breaks liar. So that can't be a mine. Because of the outside, this can't be a mine either, so that's a mine. This mine actually, because of outside again, this mine must exit out, so I'm pretty sure there is another mine here, right? So that the mine doesn't get isolated. This 2 must be a 3. The 3 could be a 4, it could be a 2 as well, if the other mine was here, but this 2, okay, this 2 must be a 3, we know that, so there's a mine here and there isn't a mine here. We do know that, that's cool. Okay. And another deduction is that this can't be a 3. If it were a 3, there were 1 mine here, and then these 2 have to be mines to make 3, which then blocks yourself in. So it can't be a 3, it must therefore be a 1, which is in here, so these are both non-mines. 2 again, well, it can be a 3 this time, I'm pretty sure. Under some very special conditions, it can be a 3. It's more likely to be a 1, but you can't use likelihood as your, logic. So it's probably this 2 and this 3 that helps then. I was thinking this 2 must be a... Well, this 2 again, if it were... Well, it has to be a 3 because it can't be a 1. And therefore, if this was a mine, you'd make this a non-mine, which breaks the pattern. So that can't be a mine. Another 2. Well, this 2 states that there is 1 mine here because it's a 3. States. And this 2 therefore sees 2 out of these 3 cells, meaning it must see a third mine here because it already has 2. Not sure how that helps again. But we do know that because there's 1 mine here, whichever is the mine, a third mine here would immediately break the pattern. You either have this or this. So interestingly, this can't be a mine either. And a 5. Right, well we know there's 1 mine here and 1 mine here to fulfill a 2. Therefore the 5, actually we now use this 0. This 5 could be a 4 or a 6. But for this 0 we know there's a maximum of 1 here. Maximum of 1, sorry. And therefore, for the 5 to work out barely, you need this to be a mine as well, making a 4, right? So what that means is that there is exactly 1 mine here, this is a mine, and because there's 1 mine here, the 0 would then be fulfilled, so these are all non-mines. Cool, okay. Do we use outside now? Maybe. Yeah, this 5 must be a 4, because it can't be a 6. And we know that because these can be both mines from the outside pattern, then they can only have 1 mine maximum, which therefore means that the rest must be mines. This 0 is complete. We know from this line that this is not a mine. This 4 sees 3 and cannot see one more, so that's not a mine. This 3 sees 2, and we know that this can't be a mine because that was from the outside pattern. So this is the mine. This 3 sees 2 and is complete. This mine must exit, so it's not isolated. This 6 actually sees 5, so all of these are mines. Yeah, this 5 is complete. And this 3 sees 4, so it's complete. This 4 needs to see 5, because it already sees 4, and putting a mine here would break the pattern in 2 ways actually. So we do know that this can't be a mine. This must exit out. So we know that the 4 is complete and that's not a mine. Now this group must exit out, so that's a mine. This must be a mine actually, because otherwise you have the pattern, so that has to be a mine, so this is not. This 2 must therefore be a 1 now. Oh, I think we use the remaining mines. Yes, because we know there's 1 here. There are only 5 cells remaining, and in total there are 6 mines, right? So all of these have to be mines with the additional 1 mine here. And since we know this 2 is a 1, that is complete. So the last mine is this one. Very cool. Yeah, 6 minutes. A lot faster. Nice. I like that one. That was really cool. Okay. Just look at it. Like it's a. It's like so cool looking. All right, let's keep going. Dual and wall. Wow. Okay, interesting. So. The rules are that dual means your mines must pair up to form these dominoes that can't touch each other, and wall means that the numbers indicate each individual wall around it. I am like shortening my explanations more and more. Like if you keep watching my videos, you get a hold of them. The dual and wall rule mean that this can't be a mine, otherwise it would not be able to extend out. And in fact, this 1-1. Actually, I can't say anything about it though, can I? I could probably say something about the fact that... No, it might be this one and this one put together. Although this 1-1 is very ambiguous, I don't know if there's anything hidden in there. This 1-1 definitely probably has something hiding in it though. Because we know that... Here, here, and here, if there were mines in there, then their partners are definitely decided on the block that is outside. Can't be the ones beside them, because then you break 1-1. So, what does that mean? What does that mean for dual? Are there any blocks that... Are there any cells that definitely can't be mines then? I don't think so. Like looking at it right now. I mean, clearly we know these 6 can be mines. This one can be a mine if it is extended out, then this would not be a mine, but again, it doesn't... I feel like I've seen this pattern before in like another dual wall. But like, I don't know, could this be a mine? We know if this was not... We know if this was a mine, then this can't be a mine because it can't extend out, otherwise you get 3. So then clearly this must be a mine which then extends out. That's fine though. But I just really don't see how this fails. So like suppose this was a mine, I mean very easily you could clearly say this was not a mine, but then this could be a mine which is fine. It's like maybe if this were a mine, or like if this was a mine. If this was a mine, you could always just pull it off as this being the second mine, and that's all cool. That's fine. Oh, this is really tripping me up. Is it a bifurcation moment? Like, the patterns are so easy. How is this even... What? 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 I was wondering, yeah, if this were a mine, then clearly this can't be a mine. Putting mines here and here. Then this one can't extend out, putting a mine here. And then this has to be the second mine, but that's fine, it looks all cool. Like nothing, this one isn't even constrained at all. How many ways are there for this one to be fulfilled? 1, and then 2, 3. Oh, are there 3 ways only? Oh, I guess there are 3 ways only, huh? Okay, maybe we can do cases then. We'll use 3 colors. The idea in cases is that there are 3 options for this 1-1, and then we'll just look at each one on their own. So, let's start with this one. This is our first option. And then we know from both of these that your mines must extend out. This gives off something like this. Nothing else can be said about this setup. Next option would be this one, which is the exact opposite. We know that if this was a mine, it must extend out like so, which puts a blank here and here, puts a blank here. This one can extend up or left, right, sorry. That's not a mine. But I don't think we can say anything else about this either. And now third option is this and this, which is a bit of a hybrid between our first two. We get something that looks a little like this. See, the problem is that the yellow and the red already don't have anything in common. So like, how am I supposed to find something that's common between all 3 possible states? Right? Yeah, like none of them have anything in common at all. Right? Unless the red is like wrong or something. What does that say about the 1? I don't think it says anything, because if... Oh, I see it. Is this I think it's this one. Okay, backtrack. If this were a mine, because of the 1-1, we know that it must extend out like so, breaking this. Therefore, we know that this can't be a mine, and that breaks this 1-1 down here. Jeez. And then can this be a mine actually? I think it can. Yeah, because you can do this and then this. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the only cell that doesn't work for some reason. Now that this 2 and this 1-1 can work together much more easily. If this was a mine, the 2 implies it extends out, but this 1 doesn't let it happen. So this can't be a mine, this can't be a mine. This 2 and this 1-1 work similarly, so that can't be a mine either. This one, well, yes. We know there has to be 1 mine here. Because of this 1-1, there can't be mines here and here, otherwise this 2 is completely broken. So we know that there's definitely 1 mine here at least, and because of this 1 confirming that there is exactly 1 mine here, these can't be mines, and then we know there's 1 mine here, so there's 1 mine here, and this 1 mine extends out to make a 2, but in both cases cannot extend to here, so that's not a mine either. A 2-2. Cool. If I was for this 2-2 then. Yeah, because we know that the 2 is going to be in one of these cells. The other 2 has to be in here, right? And the other 2 is also a consecutive 2, which therefore implies that I'm pretty sure this is always a mine. Our first mine, wow. If this happened, then your second mine will be here. And if this happened, your second mine would be here. I don't think that says anything specifically. So you probably have a third one here as well. Oh, does it break dual? It does. Yeah, it does. It does. A mine here has to extend out both ways, which breaks dual. I was like wondering what was up with this structure because it felt so unreal. But yeah, that means this can't be a mine, so this 2 can only be like this, putting this here. This 1 can only be solved like that now, finally solving it after so long. This 1, we don't know anything about that. Pretty sure this can't be a mine, because if it was, you have to extend off of the 2, which breaks the 1. This like what we did just now. This can't be a mine. This 1 doesn't say anything about the 2, but this 2 sees 3 cells only, so this is always a mine. And because the other mine is here, we know that will form the dual with this one, so these are both non-mines. This 2 is something. This 1 is also something. Yes, because of this 2, well then clearly this one must extend out. So that does clear some stuff up. This 1 means this has to be a mine which extends out. This 1 sees a mine here, but we know this can't be a mine for the same reason. This 2 makes it extend outwards, which doesn't work, so that can't be a mine. This 1 well there's 1 mine here. We're not sure if it extends out or not. But this 2 sees 2 in these 3, so that's definitely a mine either. And by the same logic, because one of these are mines, these can't be mines. A 1 here is just complete. This 1 here means that's a mine, extends out. This 1 extends out, this is not a mine. This 1 is complete, so this 1 can be completed. This 1 is done. And then this 2 can see these 2, meaning that. And because there's 2 mines remaining, they just have to take these 2. I can't take this one. It can't take because that's a dual. So there we go. Nice. A bit slow on this one because of that stupid first trick. That one was really tough. I don't know if that's like a pattern we should be looking at, but sure. We can do like 1 more, and then we'll be down to the final 10. Oh, never mind. This one's tough. Negation and snake. So snake is your mines have to form a snake. The snake can't branch or touch itself. Easy enough, but negation tells you the difference in the shaded mines and non-shaded mines, or light and dark mines for short. Okay, so let's do snake. Well, this is a good place to start because this can't be part of the snake. It's not even connected to anything. And a 0 here means that this can't be a mine. In normal cases, like zeros can be made out of this, because this does work. Well, I mean, clearly in this case it doesn't work because there's 1 mine here. Actually, in fact, this 1 and this 0 work together. If this were a mine, then by the 0 it must be cancelled out by a dark mine, but then the 1 is then failed. So this can't be a mine. The 1 does mean this is a mine. And this 1, well, it could be a 0, it could also be a 1. We don't know. We do know there's 1 mine here though, which does help this 2 because this works as a net 0. So the 2 needs to see an additional 2, just an additional 2 here. And that can only be done in one way, which is like this. This mine must now extend out to be part of the snake. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can do some parity here. The idea is that if this were a mine, then for this 0, this can't be a mine. That forms 2 dead ends. And we can check if this is plausible by counting the number of cells in the path from one end to the other. See, in this case, the snake takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes up 6 mines. And the idea is that wait a minute. Wait. No. We don't even need parity. The idea was that from A to B, right? If it takes 6 mines, if it takes an even number of mines to get from one place to another, then any other path you take, like no matter how absurd, okay, it doesn't work here, but no matter what other path you take, you always take an even number of mines as well. So that was our logic there, but I can spot something even better. We know there's a cul-de-sac here. There's the end of a snake is here because this one can't come out. And well, I can't really say anything about that. I was like, could this be a mine? And if it was, then this one places a mine there, which acts as its own dead end because this thing can't come out without touching itself. But I was like, is this possible? And apparently it is. Apparently, I think if this mine comes out here, that's plausible. So yeah, no, that was fine. And the parity trick did not work either, because we see here to form a snake like so, you need what? You need 6 mines, and that's the same parity. They're both even, so it does work. You can do it. The other option would be something like this. I was wondering if there is ever a forced mine in here. But there doesn't have to be, I don't think. If these are both empty, then this one... Oh! Right, because if there were a mine here, that's a dead end, correct? There's also a dead end here, which means that this can't form your dead end, meaning this is not possible. However, if this was not a dead end, then because of the 1, this can't be a mine, forming a dead end here as well. And of course, this as a snake must exit out. So in all cases, I'm pretty sure this must come out to here. Wow. That is pretty cool. Okay, can't believe we already have all we need to go from here. Because if this was a mine, then this must be a mine. But if this wasn't a mine, then this can't be a mine for the 1. But then what? Like, is this a thing? Oh, maybe we can check if that's a thing, right? Because assuming this was a dead end, we can then use parity. Yeah, and we need 4 mines to go from this to this. But we have 21. Did I say 11? We have 21 mines remaining. And those, you know, obviously different parities. One is odd, one is even, which means that this path never works out. It never works out. Oh yeah, actually, like, you can use a checkerboard here. We realized that it always takes an even number of cells to change your color, right? An odd number of not odd number of steps to change your color. So from here to here, it does not change color, so it's an even number of steps. Or in fact, we could probably just use this and this. We want to get from here to like here, we'll need an even number of steps. So all in all, we just know that this can't be a dead end, so it has to extend out. So this 1 means this has to be a mine, this can't be a mine. Okay. Right, so that is cool. What about this one? Yes, okay, this must be a mine. If it wasn't a mine, then for the 1 to work, 1 of these has to be mines. Right? We know that these 2 can't be mines, because if they were, then, you know, just have another dead end. So this must be the mine, and I'm pretty sure... No, this works, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it works. So I guess that works? Maybe. What about if this were a mine? If it were, it would need... Well, actually we have no idea what it needs. I mean, obviously this one is the only place you have to go. If this were a mine, how could the 1 be resolved? Well, I mean, it already is resolved, so it's possible that this happened. So then you'd have this. Well, okay, we can actually decipher if this is a mine or not, because it's always a dead end, right? If this happened, you need 4, which doesn't work, because, yeah, it doesn't work, because they have different parities. So the only way for it to work is if this was a mine, actually. Yeah, okay, wow. Then what next? Well, it's already resolved as a 1. A positive 1, if we take lighter cells to be positive values. This set of mines has a value of positive 1, so this set of values must have a value of -2 or 0. Well, here it can't have a value of -2, so it must have a value of 0. There are a few ways to do that. Either all of these are non-mines, or one of these are mines, and then one of the others are mines as well. Which can happen. We can do something like that, you know. If it was like this, then you can do something like that. So that's possible. So I don't see what... Oh, okay, no, the 1 doesn't even matter at this point. The reason why is because we already have 2 dead ends, and any mine here would also be a dead end, which doesn't work, so none of these are mines. 0 may be helpful, yes. If this were a mine, then you need a light cell to cancel it out, and any light cell here would then form another dead end. So it doesn't work, meaning this can't be a mine, and by the same logic, these can't be mines either. The one, we have no idea. Although we do know there's a net 0 here, right? Net 0 here, and therefore this set total has a net 1. Therefore for this one to work out, this must have a net 0 as well, which just means it's not a mine. This can't be a mine because of the dead ends. And now we know any mine here would form its dead end, so none of these can be mines either. This one and this one is almost the same. Although I don't know if we can say anything about that. Like, if for example we made this a mine, then clearly it can't be a dead end, which means that has to be a mine, and that has to be a mine, and then that has to be a mine to complete the one. Or we could probably say there has to be some number of mines here, right? Which means that this snake has to go around like that. Although I can't say anything about like, yeah, this can't be a non-mine. If it were a non-mine, then to fulfill this one, you'd have to have some number of mines here, which already doesn't work because it's a dead end. So this must be a mine in all cases. This one has a few options. It could either be non-mine here and non-mine here that does not work, or it could be a mine here and mine here, which is the only way. Because you need either a 0 or negative 2 to make a 1. And a 0 here makes a dead end, so that doesn't work, meaning these are both mines. Therefore for this one to work, this must be a mine. And then because it can't be a dead end, and these can't branch, then this mine must come out like that. Wow, this one is very full. In fact, it is so full that it already sees 1. And then this has to be a net 0. This one, therefore, out of these 5 cells, sees a net 1. And so this must be a net 0. Okay. Well, I mean, they can't both be double mine, because then that would just form a loop, which is not a snake. You know, unless you count Ouroboros, but we are not doing that. Cool. We can also, yeah, there are a few ways to do net zeros, and they're either both non-mines or both mines. In this case, there are again a few ways to do it. I can in fact, well, there are 12 mines remaining. Is that enough? If we suppose that this wasn't a mine, so that this had to come out here, then the shortest path to an edge, to an end, is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, that's definitely enough. You can always do this. And then, you know, like just lengthen your path a bit. I think this is 12. This looks like 12. And apparently it works out. So yeah, it's possible that this thing snakes outwards. You can also do this. In fact, actually, either way it goes, right? It must take this path here. Doesn't that always use the same number of cells? Yes, okay. So we know this 1, 1 is either like this, in which case this goes all the way here, or is like this, which always goes all the way here the same way, because these can't be both mines. I mean, obviously it could really just, it could take a couple wild rides here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, and then this could be a second 12 mine. 12 mine? Yeah. I mean, I can probably say that it can't extend out to here that far, because if it did, then this path alone already takes like 11. Wait. Yeah, it takes 11. Oh, so then that can be a mine. Okay. I guess any path then is sort of valid. Yeah, any path is valid, except we haven't considered something like this. Yeah, I don't think that can happen. Because then, to connect to here, you would have to make a big loop. You can't do this, because then it breaks this one. Because we already know there's a net 0 here. So then you'd have to do this. And because this uses 5 cells, this edge must loop to here in like 7, which isn't possible at all. So I don't think this can extend out. Yeah, and this must extend here. So that can't be a mine, that can't be a mine, that can't be a mine. 2 sees a -1 so far, so you see another -1, which is like this. This one is complete. It sees a 1, so this can't be a mine. This one sees a 1, so that can't be a mine. This must then extend out. Because we have 9 mines remaining, I mean, there are a few ways to do it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think any cell can work except the ones here. Because if we try to enter here, right? Then we have to grab this one, which implies a loop back. I don't think that works. So all 4 of these are non-mines, I think? Yeah, wow, okay. And then the 1 implies 1 mine here, and the 1 implies 1 mine here. Well, if this were a mine, then this is not a mine, isolating it, so that doesn't work. So this must be the mine, which must come from here. This one must come out. The 1 is now not a mine here. This one, well, this one comes out, so the 1 here means this is a mine. Therefore, this is a mine. Then this 0 means it needs to be cancelled out. This therefore can't be a mine. This must exit out here. This 1 over here means that this is not a mine. And we're done. Wow, okay. See, that was cool. Like, I like snake puzzles so much. I also realized that my timer was broken. Or I really just didn't do anything with it. Anyway. Now that was cool though. I don't know how much time I spent on it, but I think that was pretty insane. That's 39. Maybe we'll do one more, maybe we'll not. I don't know. Okay, balance and cross shouldn't be that hard. I will try. So yeah, we might have a longer episode here. So what does balance mean? Every row and column must have the same number of mines. Because there are 24 mines and 8 rows and 8 columns, then there are 3 per column and 3 per row. Cross means the clue indicates the plus shape around it, which is a bit like regular Minesweeper. This 0 starting off is very simple because these are all just non-mines. This 1 over here... does it help? I think the 1, the 2, and the 2. No, actually I don't think it does. It might be the 4. Yeah, actually the 4 is just done, right? Yeah, the 4 is just done. Okay. That was a lot less. Okay, then this 1 means these are both non-mines. This 2 means this is a mine. This 2 is therefore complete. This 1 is also complete. This 4 is actually complete right now, and our first few balance deductions come into play. The 8 and the 6 are all complete. Rows 8 and 6. The 1 and the 4. Well, the 4... Yes, the 4 sees... Well, it sees 4. So I'll just leave this marking on. We know that therefore there must be 2 in this region. That will complete column G, so these are all non-mines. The 0 is trivial. And the 4 is therefore complete. The 2 over here doesn't do anything. I don't think this 2 does anything either. But we do know row 7 can be complete as well, because it only has enough space for that to happen. This 1 is therefore complete and allows column H to be completed. This 2, as you can see, is 1 here, but not much help, I don't think. Oh, we do know that this 2 though, because this... Well, there must be at least 1 mine here, right? Because there can only be 1 other mine here. Has to be at least 1 mine here, which would then complete column F. So... that means that there has to be 1 mine here and a non-mine here. The 4 here sees 2 so far. Well, okay. Well, we then use this same region again. This 4 sees at most 1 mine here because row 5 can only have 3 mines max. Therefore, I must see at least 1 mine here. That will then complete this region, which therefore means that this can't be a mine, and then there must be exactly 1 mine here and 1 mine here. That then continues to say that this is not a mine for 5. The 4, can't say anything about that yet, but this 2 is maybe of... No, this 2 means that this is a mine. This 2, we don't know, I don't think. Okay. Maybe it's this 4. Maybe it's this 4. We know there's 1 mine here and 1 mine here. Let me just mark that down real quick. This 2, again... Oh, this 2 is complete. What? I just did not see it touch this mine. So that means these are non-mines. This must be a mine, therefore. Finishing this 2. Cool. No idea, but from columns D and E, I can see there's 1 mine here and 1 mine here. There we go. Is there one mine here? Do we know that? Yes. Because there are 2 mines in here, we know that from columns D and E. And we know there's 1 mine in these 2 cells, so there must be 1 mine in these 2 cells. Huh, nice. Anyway, row 4 is then complete, so these can't happen. This 4 can then be completed, I think, so these are both mines. This is not a mine, therefore this is the mine. 3 is complete as well, so that's not a mine. And then column B can be completed. Row 1 can be completed. I believe, yeah, row 2 can also be completed. Column A is complete, column C can be completed, and there we go. Nice. Hey, 4 minutes, almost on the dot. Actually, like to the millisecond. Or what, demisecond, if that's how they say it. That's so stupid. Alright. So that's cool. We are down to our last 9, which is insane. I'm really hoping to get this achievement, because then that means I can get this thing to finally be like minty green as well. Look at that. Oh, is the background playing Undertale? That's cool. Don't copyright strike, please. Anyway. Yeah, alright. That was cool. Alright, see ya. Bye.